Hi, I'm Anna, I'm an artist and I've got myself a Gelli plate for my birthday. So let's quickly unwrap this parcel and see what else is in there and then do some beautiful Gelli printing. And let's include a little preview of the prints for you so you know what you're in for with me today. Yeah, and then let's start with unwrapping our parcel. All right, quite some paper, that's good. You can use that for some test prints, I guess. And look, that's what I got myself. A lot of paper because this was such a good offer. It was more than 50% off. And now I hope that this paper works well for Gelli plate printing. And here it is. My very first Gelli plate. So let's open it and try it out. Some basic info about cleaning and stuff. I'm not going to read it right away because I want to try out the plate. Let's put it on a piece of paper. Here we have a plastic protection. Now, let's try to place it in the middle of the paper. Oh, look, that fits perfectly. Because I wanted to have a plate that fit with this size of paper because I also paint a lot in this size at the moment. So everything will fit together. Amazing. So let's put some stuff away. And now what do we need? Some more paper. I want to have quite some paper available because I want to try out a lot of things today. And then I have different brayers here, and I have also this funny thing which I wanted to try out. Yeah, I was thinking about using this one. It's a bit dirty, but I think it might work. Let's try this one first, because it's already dirty and it doesn't matter if I mess it up even more. And then some paint. I've got a lot of paint here and I have some paint leftovers. Look, because I always have paint leftovers. I'm doing a lot of color mixing and painting. These are from a recent painting tutorial I made. So yeah, let's start with those maybe. I put this one aside. We can come back to those if we need them. Which is going to be the first color to go on? Maybe this green. Let's start with green. And I think I just want to make a background in one color to start. Let's see how this all works out. I have been doing it one time before. I've been at a little one-day workshop where we tried this out. But look, this brayer doesn't turn anymore, do you see? So that's not helpful. It's a bit like it's a really cheap one. I think it's not perfect. So let's clean it up a bit and try another one. All right, so this one is not the best. Let's try the next. I'm thinking maybe this one. Yeah, this one is rolling nicely. I think it has a nice small size for this rather small plate. It's making some lines at the border. Yeah, but let's go with that for our first print. Let's just put the paper on. And see whether it works. By the way, these are acrylic paints. I just have them in these pots because sometimes I mix the colors or put a bit of water in, and I use them for rather big paintings at the moment. So I need bigger quantities. Oh, look how well this is coming off. Wow, that's beautiful. Look! Just this one, I wanted it as a background, but even just like this, I absolutely adore it. So maybe let's put some blue on top, right? Look, I've made some kind of stencils here. Maybe we can put something. Yeah, let's put the paint on first, I guess. I'm not an expert. If I'm doing something wrong, just let me know in the comments. Or if you have some tips for me. I'm very good at color mixing and at painting with acrylic paints because that's what I'm doing all the time. But my experiences with Gelli plates come down to one little workshop, which has been some time ago now. So any tips are welcome. And this is actually just things I've seen in videos. People putting pieces of paper on their Gelli plate. So I'm just doing that as well. I just roughly cut those out this morning. And yeah, I guess we just put the paper on and see whether it's going to take the paint. I mean, something's going to happen. I don't know what. I don't know what I'm doing here. But I think you can't really go wrong with this, right? Oh, look. Funny. And now we have green. Everything is blue-green now. I think this here might look nice. If we just put the light green, I think I need a few more brushes. Let's get those. So, let's get a bit more of the green. Let's see what we get. This might look interesting. I love it already. And the reason why I thought this is a good idea, oh look, I forgot one of these papers. Now we have one in green. Yeah, the reason why I finally decided to get a Gelli plate is that I have so often these paint leftovers, and I thought this is just the perfect thing for using them. I wonder whether these papers have two sides, probably. I mean, two different sides. They have two sides for sure. Probably the sides are slightly different, but maybe today I don't worry about that. I just try to get some prints onto my paper. And it's getting off so easily. Okay, that's interesting too. I might put something light on top like this, or maybe like this. Look, this might fit well, don't you think? And maybe, yeah, let's get some paint on first. I've got some water mixed into these paints. And some of them are pretty, oh, this one is in its pot like for quite some time. And I think these lines, look, can you see these lines here? They are made by this hard roller. Maybe I'll try out a soft one. I also have a soft one. We can try that one out afterwards. But I mean, I even kind of like these lines in there, at least for some things. Now, let's try out what we are getting here. And it's always a surprise, isn't it? I'm a bit new to that. Usually I see what I'm painting. Here it's a surprise. Yeah. Lovely. But I think it's going to need some more contrast on top. Maybe something in blue. We'll see. But first, what have we got here? So this is just a piece of paper actually, which I cut into this. Yeah. Now, what are we going to put on here? Maybe some more blue? I mean, we could leave it like this. They are pretty beautiful. But we could also put something, or maybe some light ones like this on top of here as well. Let's try that. Let's try, yeah, let's use this one. And this is working super well. I mean, everything is coming off easily from this Gelli plate. Maybe because it's new. I don't know. So, this one again. Yeah. And now maybe some more blue. I think I'll just try what happens if we put many layers on top of each other. Maybe now I'm going to try this soft roller here. I still have these lines. Maybe if you know how to avoid them, let me know in the comments, because I don't. Yeah, if I go over quite softly, that makes it better, I think. Yeah, let's use this again. Let's put it the other way around. Maybe slightly different, like this. And just see what happens. So fun! Okay, now it's getting a bit messy. And also some of the paint stayed on here, probably because the paper isn't soaking it in that easily anymore. I think I'm going to leave this one like this. But let's just put this onto paper. Yeah, beautiful first print. And now let's make it green, right? So I think I'm going to use the hard roller and clean the soft one. So green. All right, let's put some green over this beautiful blue. Yes, that's good, isn't it? And I'm thinking about putting some orange on top of this. Let's get some orange. This might look fun, don't you think? Let's do that. So, and what do we want to have there? Maybe some of these. I'm not sure whether this is a good idea. Probably it's gonna smear everything up a bit. Anyway, let's try it out. Today is a try out day. And if it doesn't look good, we can always go over with some strong black covering or white, or we'll figure something out. Yeah, but look, amazing. Now I'm really glad we tried it out. Look how beautiful this looks. That's great. Let's put a little frame on top to see. Look, isn't this amazing? This one is finished. So let's go on with the with the other ones and make them as beautiful. Look, now we have some interesting orange left over here. Maybe we start a new one with this and then go over with the magenta afterwards. I think that could look amazing. Well, I'm happy. I hope you are too. So, what will this one bring to us? Oh, not much. Probably too dry. Well, that's fine. I love that, just these thick lines. So I like this one so much with the orange on top. So we're going to do the same to this one and see what happens. And I'm sure if I put some paint on, the remaining dried parts here will loosen up again and come off probably. This was probably too much paint. So before we mess up our beautiful print, let's use it for a background on another new one first. But the paper works amazingly well. I absolutely adore it. So it was a good investment because it was really, really a good deal. And now I can do a lot of Gelli Plate printing. Yeah, look, nice background. We will come back to that in a minute. And now use this one here for this. So again, we put these cutouts on top. Oh, look, this green and orange. What contrast we're having here. Let's put everything I have here on. Whoops. I messed the paint up a bit. Anyway, okay. Now, let's try and see what we get. Yeah, look. Amazing. Let us put the... Where did I put the frame? Here's the frame. Let's see. This is beautiful too. Yeah. Okay, so I love the lines we have here now. Let's put some magenta on top. Let's see what this will give us as a print. And the paint is drying quite quickly. But we'll see, maybe we get everything off right now in one go. Let's put this on our beautiful orange background. And maybe have a bit more patience now to let the paint really get together with the paper. I think I should give it maybe a minute or so. 3 to 5 minutes would probably be better. Look, in the meantime, we can go on. Like this is going to be a print, but why not add a bit like this and then do the print on top. Also this one I love, like this, these colors. It's beautiful. Okay, so this was probably not even a minute, but my patience isn't big. So let's get it off. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but this is really, really beautiful. It's not enough to be a finished print yet, but I love all these colors we have here together now. But we still have paint leftovers, which didn't come off, so yeah, waiting 4 minutes or something to let it dry would probably help to get everything off, but that's not me. That's not going to happen. So I'm just going to move on and we'll see what happens. Eventually the paint's going to come off, I'm sure. So what do we put on top of that? Something like this might be nice. Let's do that. Or maybe a mix from this and this. Please. The second one was this, like light colors. And if you're interested in how I mix my colors, there are many color mixing videos on my channel, because that's what I do a lot. Color mixing and abstract acrylic painting. And now also jelly printing. And I also started with plein air painting and absolutely love it. So what do you think about using this one? This is a bubble wrap and an old plastic bag wrapped around this. Just, it's a usual painting tool, you know, for wall painting. And this makes these funny marks. Let's put it on top of this. I don't dare to use it on the beautiful red background. I'm doing a test on this one to see what happens. And look, my fingers also start to get some beautiful nail polish here. Oh. Yeah, let me know. Do you always wait for like 1 to 4 minutes before you take the papers off? Or do you take them off right away? Oh wow, this is like now some of the orange came off and the light color, and now we really have a huge color mix. But that might look fun if we put, you know, if we put something like this, like the orange on top, but maybe in a really dark color, or maybe even just the orange. Maybe a little bit of green everywhere and then the orange on top. We'll figure that out. The problem is we still have all this paint left over here. I'll just try to take it off with a baby wipe. Usually that works well for acrylic paint. Yeah, works pretty well. And then maybe some paper towel to make it dry, because I think it's better when it's dry. So Look how this looks now. Interesting. Let's put a little bit of this light on, which we have on our roller. Yeah. Okay, so let's make this one first, since our plate is so nice and proper now. So we want this color and the slightly more yellow leaning one. So let's get it on. I think I've got too much paint again. For sure. I mean, I have no idea, but it feels like this is too much paint. So in this case, let's use it to calm this one down. Get a bit of paint off. Yep, worked. It's a bit calmer, and then we are going to put something on top that's going to be nice. Sometimes these slightly weird ones, at least at painting that's the case, these slightly weird ones turn out to be the best ones in the end, because you put more and more and more on top, and this gives them interest, and sometimes that's good. So let's put our shapes on top again. I don't know if I like this. I don't think so, actually. So let's change it then. I don't know. Something feels off here. You try. Oh, I have another one here. Completely forgot about that. This one is a bit weird, but let's put it here anyway. Okay, so let's hope it makes something beautiful. Yes, look, love it. I think there could go something else on top, and then it's going to be nice. All right, I'm a bit impatient with this whole peeling off here, but maybe I should just enjoy the calm way of doing this. So this is beautiful, and we could put it on here maybe. I think here we need something strong, I don't know. Maybe let's just put some blue on top of here. I think the light with the blue, I'm again putting too much paint on, right? Or not? I don't know. And also in this blue there's quite some water mixed in. So that's probably not the best thing for the jelly plate. Yeah, so let's just print it on here and see what happens. This is always so slippery like this. I wonder whether I'm sliding my paper around or just whether the plate is a bit like moving. But I think it's not the paper, but just the plate. Right. This didn't took off a lot of paint, probably because there's too much water in. But Or maybe also because there's already paint on my paper. But you know, then I just do one layer after the other and we'll see what happens. Eventually, it will bend to my will. It usually does. Oh, let's just roll some paint on like this. I think we need to get this stuff off somehow. Yeah, okay. Now I see. So if I have a rather new paper, which is really dry, then it takes off the paint nicely. And if I have something which is not completely dry and also has a lot of paint on, then it's more difficult to get everything off. All right, so that means we're going to let this one dry before we put something on. Or let me make it really blue quickly. I know this is not Gelli Plate Printing, this is just something else. But look, it's not really working. It's funny. This is really funny how this behaves. Not like I'm used on my paintings. Let's see what happens if we go through with this. Not a good idea. Then what's underneath comes out again. So the goal here is really to just get a blue background full of life with all the layers underneath which slightly peek through. And then when it's really dry, we can put more layers on top. I think. At least that's what I'm planning. So for this one, I'm thinking either putting something yellow on top. Yellow is usually pretty transparent. That might look fun. Or put some lighter, like beige, light things on. I think I want to try out yellow just to see what that will give us. Now, what do we do? Either a similar pattern, or we could use this one. Maybe we'll try this one. Let's see what happens. I'm not a big fan. So what I'm trying is doing the same thing, but with to print on top, you know, with these light colors. And then maybe it's going to be better or worse. What do you think? This color here looks nice, doesn't it? This light with a bit of yellow mixed in. I like that. I don't necessarily like it on this one, but how about putting it on here? Let's try that. Okay, so now the paper ripped a bit, and that tells us that it wants to dry before I do these things to it. But I'm not patient, you know. I'm never patient. And I like ripped paper. Look what that gives us here, you know. All right, we'll see what will happen to this one long term. But this looks fun now, doesn't it? I don't know how that happened. But let's just put it on a piece of paper to keep. Yeah, good start. Anyways, we wanted to put something light on top of these. All right, so we use this. It is a bit wet from both sides, so that's probably worst condition we could have. So let's see, how did we put it on here? Like this? This is like this. No, look, now I messed up because it's going to go on like this. So it needs to be like this. Yeah, and it's not the best idea to do this on your birthday, apparently, because the phone is ringing all the time. And by the way, I'm saving up for some more jelly printing supplies at the moment. So if you'd like to support that, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/Anna Budin. Thanks a lot for your support. Yeah, look, this is beautiful. And then what I was thinking, like making greeting cards like this. Amazing. And the most beautiful ones can go into little frames. So let's move on to this one. So green. I was thinking of like, here is so much white coming through and I want these darker areas to have more life. So putting this rather transparent light green on top felt like a good choice. So now I'm going to let this one dry. And we have these two weird papers. I'm going to put paint on, put them on top of each other, take them apart and see what happens. All right. Are you in for that? Or not so much? And look what happens here. Like I was just cleaning the brayer and it's looking so beautiful. All right, which color do we use? Blue. Let's use blue. I would like to have a darker one, but yeah, we use what we have now. Because these here need to be used. So we just put on some paint. I don't know if it's gonna be beautiful or not. Then we put this one on top, knowing that this will probably rip our paper, which is already slightly ripped. And then you press it down and take it apart. Look, and I like if it starts doing these things. I like that, and I would like to have it here too. Now let's try if we can break it here. We just press it onto another piece of paper. Yeah. Great, and now we need to put something transparent on top. Let's use our baby wipe for that. And maybe some of this light paint. Let's just see what happens. And this is just the dirty baby wipe I had for cleaning the Gelli plate. Anyway, it's much better now than before, in my opinion. Let's have a look. Yeah, and maybe do some printing on top now, right? But I think we should really let it dry now before we do that. And maybe we just do the same thing with this one. Some paint to give us a lovely background for the next print. This might be a way for me to really wait for my papers to dry on the plate, and I can like take care of the messed up pieces and turn them into beautiful backgrounds. Looks much better, don't you think? The only problem is that it's not gonna dry quickly. So I don't know if we can really print well on top today, but we'll see. All right, let's see what we get here. Yeah, well, this one, yeah, okay. If I let it dry, it takes all the paint. Look, nice clean jelly plate and nice paint on here. Yeah, this could turn into one of these, right? So let's put something light on top.
And by the way, I'm saving up for some more jelly printing supplies at the moment. So if you'd like to support that, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/AnnaBudin. Thanks a lot for your support.
Yeah, that's good. Look, it could be a sister piece for this one. We could leave it like this or put another color on top. What do you think? Maybe even leave it. I mean, these together. I think I'm gonna leave it like this. I like it. I think it's beautiful. Okay. So the problem with these two is they are completely wet, and I think I need to let them dry properly before I print on top. So I'm going to let these dry and then print on top next time. So that leaves us with this, where I rolled off my brayer. So let's try to make this one into something before we close the session. All right, so I don't know, I feel magenta for some reason. So let's go magenta and mix in a bit of red. It's too much paint, right? I'm always using too much paint. Might be a common beginner mistake, I think, because you really don't need much paint. I think I'm going to use this one again. Maybe we could use it like this. What do you think? That might look fun. Okay. Not yet my taste. Definitely interesting, but definitely not my taste yet. So let's make the whole thing red. And oh no, I have a better idea. Let's take orange. This is going to be a bit more lively. And for now, I think I'm just going to put it on top. It's nearly dry. So let's try and see what happens. And look how beautiful these pieces turn out. Look, if we make a collage with that, that's going to be amazing. We are going to do that. Okay, that's better. Now we need something light on top. So let's do that. Also here, look how beautiful this is coming out. Maybe we just have to put a lot of things on top of each other. Also look, if we were to put this as a collage on top of a background like that, that's just interesting. Love it. So, is this going to work or not? Let's see. Oh, the stencil is getting too wet. I'm starting to rip our paper again. All right, that's not good. Yeah, but I love these shapes, how they turned out. And I mean, here we have a bit of our stencil now stuck to the paper. But let's just put a bit of paint on top and say, yeah, that's just what we wanted all along. All right, now I would like to put on, a final layer like this. It might rip our paper, but we're going to do that. Yeah, and also if there are some things you would like me to try out with the Gelli plate, just let me know, because I am going to try out a lot of things in the near future, and I have all kind of tools and stuff. So just let me know and I'll see whether I can squeeze it in. Let's hope our paper doesn't rip. It might though. Let's be quick. A bit. Yeah, but it's interesting, don't you think? So let's just patch these parts up a bit. Where it's ripped, I just use a bit of paint on my fingers and patch them up a bit. Let's have a look. Not the best one today, but definitely interesting. So let's try to get the Gelli plate clean. I guess that's just leaving one print on for a few minutes. We'll make all the paint stick onto the paper, or nearly all the paint. And then we can take it off. Yeah, so let's pull the last print for cleaning our Gelli plate. Yeah, interesting too. Let's have a look at our paintings. We have these two green ones. And we have these two with a bit of orange in it. And then we have this absolutely beautiful red one. And we have this slightly weird red one. What a lovely result for the first session. I didn't expect that, to be honest. And look how beautiful our stencils look. I absolutely adore them. I mean, this is going to be so lovely on a collage. Maybe I want to use them again because I like these patterns they made. But they are just so beautiful.
And by the way, I'm saving up for some more Gelli printing supplies at the moment. So if you'd like to support that, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/AnnaBudin. Thanks a lot for your support.